Skye. She's got a cool gallery going. We're going to talk about it on Small Biz. What you got going?
Well, last October I opened Skye Gallery at 381 Broadway. The focus of the gallery is to support contemporary art from traditionally under-recognized or emerging artists, and that's what we're up to.
Isn't everybody who's a struggling artist underrepresented?
No, not necessarily,
no.
my friend.
Give some examples, like flesh it out a little for us.
Well, you know, the gallery's primarily interested in work that is wrestling with our contemporary conditions. So artists who bring a legacy, a sense of legacy, a sense of culture, a spiritual orientation to their current work to kind of talk about what it is we're going through right now in contemporary society, particularly in America.
And is there any genre, is there any medium, or is it medium neutral? Is it, you know, sculpture one week, one exhibit, and paintings the next, and
it's pretty medium neutral. It's really mostly about voice and about bringing voice to market. So the work is not just about letting everybody say whatever or have access to whatever, but actually helping artists who are struggling, who are doing profound work, come to market and actually be able to support their craft and their vision.
And you know, how is you know, we call ourselves the creative capital, and we've got one of the premier art schools in the country. How is it for artists in this market to be able to create and sustain a business model?
It's challenging.
Yeah.
It's challenging, and that's where the work I'm doing really fills a niche for the community. I mean, there are some good quality galleries in the city, but not far as many as should be in the creative capital.
Yeah, yeah.
It's true that it takes resources for artists to be able to continue to work and to get deep in their work, and not have to manage full-time jobs as well as they're creating. So that's really what we're about. We're trying to bring folks to a place where they can be the visionaries that they're skilled and built to be.
Do we suffer a little bit from the geographic separation of the different galleries? That there's no cluster. So if I come in for the weekend, you know, I can't stroll through 5 different galleries easily. I've got to go over there and get in a car and go over there and get in a car and go over there. Do you think, you know, Soho, you walk around Soho, especially in the olden days when there were Chelsea, and you can go from gallery to gallery to gallery.
Yeah.
Is that something we should think about as a...
I mean, I think SU20 has done a great job of localizing a lot of arts in downtown, and I think anytime the city wants to invest in an arts experience, thinking about clustering investment for galleries and entrepreneurship around the arts is smart. At the same time, Providence is so small, right, and there's so much texture in between and on the map from here to there that I don't really think it's necessary.
Yeah, yeah.
I was just up at SoWa in Boston, and I found it to be a little sterile, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that we have so much to offer, and that we have so many bridges to cross and lines to weave through that a cluster is not necessarily to our benefit.
Do we miss on not having an art show? You know, it's funny. We have, we've one down in Wickford, and we have one up in Situate, and there's one in Westerly. Those are probably the 3 best known that draw. But we don't really have an art show in Providence.
Like a festival kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, PVD Fest is the closest thing that we do have, and
right.
Skye Gallery did have a live stage and some live painting happening on the steps of City Hall this summer, so that was really great and a wonderful opportunity. And we have gallery night as well.
Yeah,
so there are ways for people to move through. Waterfire could maybe integrate more opportunities for local artists. There are certainly...
Hear that, Barnaby?
Potentially other opportunities. He's doing a lot for the arts, so I'm not being critical, but there are...
Whenever given the opportunity for me to publicly chide someone for you,
okay.
just take advantage of it.
Don't apologize for you.
Right,
okay,
right.
Fair enough.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, sure, that would be great. I think really the gap, though, is between how someone gets out of their making and their creative space into a place where others can share and benefit from their voice and purchase their work and support them to continue.
Scooch over a little bit.
Okay.
You're fading away.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to keep you in the moment. How have you found monetizing, creating a gallery, creating a space, attracting artists, and then how has it been in, at the end of the day, as I always say, these are all businesses. These are all hardware stores, right? We got to buy nails and sell nails, and it's got to be enough for the Saturday help and the sign that says, Josh's hardware store.
No question.
Or Johnny's hardware store. How has that been going over the past few months?
It's been actually really positive
Great.
and building. You know, the model that I have though is not just art sales out of the gallery. It's also artist management work. So I do
Right.
a lot of contract management, connect artists to teaching opportunities, to mural projects, that kind of thing.
That's great.
And in that work, manage websites and personal statements and help with a whole variety of ways, even archiving work.
Oh, that's great.
So it's the storefront is the beginning portal, but there's a lot of other work that happens that makes it fruitful as a business.
Do you have an online store? Are your artists selling online? Are
I
you
do.
helping them with that?
Yes, I do
Yeah.
have the Skye Gallery does skye-gallery.com is an online storefront. I haven't really gotten it up to the point where it's working for me yet. So I would love any advice or any support anyone wants to give me to help me
We'll
with that.
give you
that-
tons.
yeah. But you can go directly on the website and purchase art there.
That's great.
Yep.
And what's been the biggest, I always ask the questions, what's been the biggest challenge?
Biggest challenge is awareness, is letting
Yeah.
people know that I'm there, I'm here, and that the work is quality. I think beyond that, and being juicy enough as a young business to be able to advertise and spread awareness, and do some more innovative work that you just need resources to be able to do to build a name and opportunity for the artists I represent.
Great. So, one thing, tell us all the time. Tell us all the time. We'll help spread the word
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And then what's been the greatest surprise? Like, what's been the biggest delight out of all this?
So many, honestly. I would say, I have not had an event at the gallery that's been less than 100 people.
Oh, that's great. Those are good
And
turnouts.
it's been really incredible, the amount and the cross-section of people that come through the gallery, the quality of the conversations, the interaction. Possibly my favorite compliment I have gotten to date, although there have been many, is a woman who came in the gallery and said, wow, this is the first time I've been in a gallery and I didn't feel stupid. I actually feel comfortable here, and I can enjoy the work and actually have an experience. So that to me is the higher order compliment.
I always appreciate it when museum or gallery creates an approach to it. And one time I was in Museum of Modern Art in New York with my daughter, and it was on. We were just going for the weekend, and it happened to be on cartoons. In this huge room, giant gallery room, all there was this little tiny hole in the floor, little black curved archway, and it was for Tom and Jerry. And it was so brilliant. Like, you were just looking around to find out what it was all about. Just that one little thing in the room,
right.
really just put it all into some level of perspective of
Right.
what, our humanity is and how we love cartoons and the fun of it all as a child
Appreciate that.
and things like that. What do you have coming up soon?
Okay, next show, we're showing June Brown Savage Black, a show called Ruthless Beauty. It's a combination of his illustrations, drawings, paintings, jewelry, some fashion. He's kind of an urban renaissance artist. He's also a comedian and just performed
wow.
last night at Comedy Connection.
Oh, great.
It was a great show. Support him. After this show goes down, the 24th, we have an opening of Savannah Alexander Sok and Long, who owns Bad Taste in the arcade right here.
Yep.
Cambodian Laotian local artists who are bringing some things together, some new paintings, new work. They're both phenomenal. In October, we have a show by Mel Green, who is no longer with us, but grew up in Gullah, moved to Mexico, and his brother is a Rhode Island person who I used to teach with at Roger Williams Middle School.
Oh, that's great.
So I'm supporting him and his brother's legacy through that show. It's beautiful work. October's Monica Shin, new work. November is Brett Semino, new work. And then in December, we'll have a holiday mishmash of anybody and everybody who's part
So
of the gallery.
you're having a lot of shows. I mean, there's a lot of work to turn over these shows.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a lot of work. And
that's great.
Yeah, that's true. About every 3 weeks. I'm trying to keep it exciting and not get dusty.
Talk about how you worked with Commerce RI, the good, the bad, the ugly. Feel free. I mean, I know you have to go to them for certain things, but I don't. So feel free to say, oh, this was so frustrating, or this was great.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, what it was.
Well, my experience wasn't directly through them. It was through the Center for Women in Enterprise
Oh,
as
great.
a conduit.
Yeah.
So I actually went to them last spring to write my business plan. I knew what I wanted to do, but really gained and benefited from the coaching and the order and discipline of the class, and also learning with other women was really tremendous.
Yeah, that's
honestly,
right.
It was the first time in a class with all women, and it was lovely.
That's great.
Changed the conversation, and then from there, after starting the business and getting going last summer, I went back to them early this year with a request for some money to help me keep going, and it was painless and supportive and incredibly helpful. So I'm grateful.
That's great.
Grateful to all the work that everybody's doing here.
Great.
Yeah.
How can the media be more helpful? I think sometimes everybody works a little bit in isolation of each other, whether it's us or other news organizations. What else can we do?
It's, honestly, I feel a little responsible for what I haven't yet been able to do in terms of my capacity. It's one of me, and there's a lot going on. So
Right.
I know I need to get better at communicating what I'm up to, in general. But I think just tuning in to key places that you think are hot and happening and helping me. I do have some media folks who reach out to me and say, "What's going on, Johnny? What's next?" And that's nice. I realize it's hard to be able to do that for everybody.
Well, let's get you on a regular basis. And show us some of the art that's coming on a regular basis, and let's try and get that going for the whole fall.
Thank you.
And it'll be a nice break from all the politics and election craziness that consumes all of us in Rhode Island.
Exactly.
Have you had any pure politics
in the artwork?
Yeah.
I think all of it is pure politics.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when we celebrate humanity or have vision for our future, we have to start with where we're at, and where we're at is kind of a difficult place.
Yeah.
A lot of anxiety and fear and frustration, and it's affecting our town too. It's even though we're progressive in a bit of a bubble, we struggle with some of the same issues that we're seeing nationally, and it's coming down. So I think all of the work that I show, ultimately, even as it's positive and forward, or it's concretely wrestling with an issue, is political by its nature.
We are full-born democracy right now, right? Everybody's got their First Amendment, and they're using it at full pace.
Well, I think the difference between a gallery and that sentiment is that we have a lot of words and a lot of talking heads, but we don't have a lot of vision. And the visual language gives us an opportunity to have a different experience with where we're at and to actually imagine a future that's better.
We picked up Bob Alley, who's the illustrator for Paddington Bear, all over the world. Okay. And he's from Barrington, and he'd been on to talk about Paddington Bear, and it was, I think, the 100th anniversary or whatever it was, and we asked him to start doing political cartoons for us. And the amount of response from a simple, and he's very clever and he's very smart, of one political cartoon per week is just amazing. And one week he was out on vacation. He was making a presentation at Eric Carle's museum. Okay. And he was, I think, getting an award. And the number of emails of, "Where's Bob Alley? Where's Bob Alley?" Because people just love to look at a political cartoon and the art of it, and the irony of it, and the cleverness of it, and all those types of things. So it can go a very, very long way.
You would love to come check out the show that's currently hanging in the gallery, because it is about caricature and cartoon and what we drink in as Kool-Aid and what we present out and how we wrestle with those things.
That's great.
So you would enjoy it. You should come
absolutely.
check it out.
I will come see it.
Right.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Hopefully have you on a regular basis talking about art, what's going on at the gallery, and just talking about Providence as a whole. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. We'll be back at 4 o'clock with Gary Sass, the Money Man, and Saul Kaplan from Business Innovation Factory, talking about everything from the Twin River big business deal to what's going on little bird scooters here in Providence that popped up on Friday. We'll be talking about it all. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. Thanks for our friends over at Commerce RI for making this happen. We'll see you back at 4 o'clock.